Hi, Peter.
I
Yeah, thank you for your time. We just want to get a bit of your experience in education, especially in supporting children with special needs in the mainstream school system, and get a bit of your perspectives. So maybe you can just tell us a bit of your career as an educator and principal. You've been doing that for all your life, right? 50 years or whatever.
not that long.
Okay.
I start. This is my last year was my 40th year in education.
Okay.
All right, and part of that time I was a teacher. Part of the time I was in MOE HQ,
Okay.
and then the last 24 years I
Okay.
have been a principal.
Okay, so finally you get to rest, right?
Finally,
Hand the
I
paper
retired.
out. Just in December, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
So there's been a lot of positive change. I would say in our education for children with special needs. I think we've seen the changes even at the HQ level, where there's a whole division that looks after special needs education, right? And a lot of attention is also given to schools that specialize in special needs education, like Pathlight, and then ACS is going to start their special needs school in probably in a year or two. So there has been that
a lot of developments,
development and
yeah, but
provisions.
still cannot meet the demand, right?
I
Because the rate of all these kids coming out are just so fast,
yeah.
Yeah.
And the challenge with all that is two ways. Some parents are looking for schools like that. Some parents are in denial
Yes.
that their children should go into schools like this. So there has to be the good collaboration and working between the parents, the health.
And that's really
professionals.
important, right?
Yeah.
What are some elements of this collaboration that's critical for the success of the child?
Well, I mean, in my years as an educator, I've seen, for instance, some of the children are picked up as early as childbirth, right?
Yeah.
So they have say autism, and but there are parents who, in a sense, live in denial.
Yes.
They don't want a label, but actually it's not so much that label, but really with an understanding of the challenge the child has, then what can the system do for this child? And the parent who can work with the health professionals, educational professionals, the psychologists and all. In the longer term, we help a child settle in better in life. So that collaboration needs to be there. Community help possibly needs to come in a lot more, because I feel a lot of parents feel very isolated. I used to tell this story to parents when I was principal in ACS Junior. I said, imagine you go into the MRT and you see this man come in with two of his sons, and then he's seated and the two boys are running up and down the train. Now what do you think? Most people will say, these two boys cannot behave themselves.
ADHD.
They're ADHD or autistic or whatever, all the labels come out. And then you look at the father and he's sitting there doing nothing. You say, hopeless man. Can't even manage his own child. And I would tell him, look, we at one point, one of the commuters gets so frustrated, just turns to the man and says, what's wrong with you? Stop your two sons.
Yeah.
And
They don't understand.
The man turns around and tells them, their mother just passed away.
Oh.
See, very rarely do we bother to see things from another person's perspective, right? So it could be a child with autism. It could be a situation where someone has lost a loved one. But we are often quick to judge, but slow to offer help, slow to offer care. Right? And I think if we become gentler, more inclusive, more thoughtful as
Understanding,
human beings, I
compassionate.
think our life would be a lot better. And we build community, we support each other, we understand each other a little bit better. Of course, unfortunately, there will be some people who will take advantage of the system.
Yeah.
All right, of kindness and goodness. But I think there are fewer of such people than there are of those who really want to, who really need the genuine help. So that's something that I think we need to think about, even in caring for children with special needs.
Yeah, that's really good. From a school's perspective, what do you think strategies that teachers to ensure that the teachers are well equipped to handle the diverse learning needs and developmental disorders?
Well, like I said earlier, there's been a lot of improvement in these areas in terms of the support. So right now in schools, there are special education needs officers.
Okay.
They use
Allied educators.
allied educators.
Now it's SEN, right?
Now they're called SEN. So the support structure is being built, but in reality, there's a need for a lot more people. So in my last school, Queensway Secondary, my special needs officer was not an educator, but she has a really big heart, and she cares for the students. In fact, every year, although she's not technically a teacher, every year for Teachers' Day, she will be voted one of the most caring teachers. And she makes an effort to go into the hall when the kids are playing badminton, for instance, during recess. She goes in and joins them. And the autistic kids, the kids they know that they can get a listening ear.
They know who cares for them.
Children know. They have a radar for that.
They know who's the discipline master.
So we need discipline masters and mistresses need not be nasty. They can also be very compassionate too. But we need more. So I think people who feel that they have the heart, it's not they don't need to make that much money. Right? They may want to consider getting themselves trained, learn a bit more about this as a career option, and it would help the students tremendously, because they then have the time to help these children through their pace of learning. And primary schools need a lot more of them.
Can I ask you a question about educational pathways? So for those children who are getting into primary one, many parents face a dilemma. Should I go to mainstream school or should I go to a special school? And the process is to consult an educational psychologist, do some assessments, to look at the potential IQ, adaptive behavior and all that, right? What is your view on this, do what is best for the child?
It's a tough call, to be honest.
Yeah, every parent wants to go to mainstream school, right? Then you take your PSLE and then go to university, right? But you go to special school, it's so hard, right?
Well, I mean,
of course, there's Pathlight and all that.
Yeah, the educational psychologists who can do the assessment.
Yes.
And they can give you the sense of whether they could. So I mean, if they are, my personal opinion, if they are borderline and it's like above borderline, I think it's fair to say, why not give it a try?
Yes.
And of course the parents must come in to support.
Yeah. Right. So try. In the worst case, MOU says, okay, I think cannot make it. Let's post to a special school.
And so that option is there.
Yes.
But
the other way is harder, right? Let's say I join Rainbow Center, right? Which is multidisabilities, and then I want to go to mainstream school. MOE must come and assess, right? And do the test and all that, right?
I think for schools like Rainbow, the assessment is already been done. Because I don't think.
No, but you want to change to a mainstream.
They in the first instance they can't take. From what I understand, because I have a former colleague whose nephew went to Rainbow, and she was telling me that there's quite a lot of assessment to justify being placed in Rainbow. So it's more the other way around. So it's so I mean, because really a lot of support is needed, in those those very special
Mm,
schools.
understand, yeah. Can I ask you about a question about obstacles? So there are parents, allied educators, special education profession. What are the obstacles that sometimes they face that hinders collaboration between them? Is it like the fear of sharing information? The fear of labeling the child. My child is fine. Don't put a label there. I don't want to do
Sorry,
diagnosis.
let me stop my.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, busy man. Yeah. So your
I,
views
mean,
on obstacles.
I would say the largest obstacle is communication. Yeah. So the openness
Okay.
to share what is
Factual.
Yeah. And how the teacher, how the special needs officer can help.
Mm.
And I think a lot of times parents also feel possibly guilty, that they should do more but can't do more. Yet they don't want to divulge too much.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
So it's but
Yeah.
I think the more honest, the more transparent
Yeah.
they can be, it helps the teachers and the special needs officers, for instance, to be able to, or even the counselors,
Yeah.
to be able to support the child. Okay, not to the extent that you dump the child over to them, but you want to work in collaboration.
Yes.
So with I would say the success stories I do see is where the parents are prepared to work very closely with the school.
Yeah.
In fact, this recent O levels, one of my special needs students was among the top students in the school.
Wow.
Anyone here?
What was the secret?
He came in from Pathlight.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
And so the mom and they met with me. We talked about what could happen, and he has his peculiarities, but bright kid, very bubbly. But we just have to work through it, and the good thing is there's a lot of openness. So within the school, we also see how we can adapt and make adjustments that would help the child grow in confidence. All right, doesn't mean that the special needs means you can't do this, you can't do that, right? So it's working it through, and it's really a joy to see this
And
student.
just to add, very often, I hear parents, right, complaining about the school, right? Oh, lack of support and all these things, right? But
I think the reality is every parent with a special needs child,
they need to advocate lah. They need to advocate.
They want
Correct.
and
so they can advocate. They need to have an understanding, right?
Yes.
And work with the system to get the best, right? Because MOE will take forever, right? To ideal system, right? But we're the best in Asia already, right? We're the best, right?
It's two ways. I mean, if people see the profession as a special needs officer as not important or too low paying and don't want to come in, then you don't have enough manpower to be able to support this children, right? So it's often the chicken and egg situation. So, but I mean, I do see a lot more younger people choosing to go into this, and I think that's a very heartening thing.
A question on social emotional well-being of children. Are there specific initiatives or programs that the school have, to, let's say, children with high functional autism, they lack social communication skills. Are there some programs to help them? Children with ADHD, they lack executive function, capabilities to organize and plan. Does the school take any effort in this?
I mean, the special needs officers together, there's a team in every school. So the school leaders are involved. There's a senior person who looks after the special needs program in the school, and this is actually reviewed yearly also.
Okay.
You know, actually 6 months leave, 6 month leave, but you know, definitely every year the committee sits down, works together, the year heads, so that there is a very comprehensive effort at the school and to look into this thing.
That's
you know,
happening.
and also for the students, because they each have their different challenges. So the special needs officer together with his team, and then together with the classroom teachers, because the subject teachers have to be aware, have to know how they can engage with this child to bring the best out of the child. And so there's a lot involved in the school, but see, the parents may not see this, and then all they hear is, oh, what do you do today? You mean you just sat down there? But that is what the child could communicate, but actually a lot of things went on. But they may see a snapshot and then sometimes parents overreact. Those who don't overreact is good, all right, because then take the time to find out.
Meet the
talk to
teachers and all that.
And understand, and then build that communication. The closer we get closer, get the better.
Okay, that's wonderful. Two very quick last questions. One would be, looking back, from all your 40 years of experience, what advice would you give to principals and senior educators, to address the educational needs of children with special needs?
I would. I'll start off with children. Okay. As an educator, we want to always put the child at the center of what we do. Right? And so it could be a gifted child, it could be a child with special needs, or physical disabilities. Right? We want to put the child at the center. And then in the school system, we need to look at every child. Right? Every child is a child of somebody. Okay? They are important. So how do we develop a system within the school that will support that development for the children the best possible? Okay, so there are many different things that can be done. Okay, thankfully we have a well-supported education system in Singapore. We have beautiful schools and a lot of resourcing in our schools. Right, so those things are there. So as educators in school, then we need to understand the kind of profile of students that we have, and how we can then shape things according to what will work to help them grow in confidence, and in that way they can find their own sense of achievement. I mean, at the end of the day, we do the things from the school perspective, but each child must feel they are worth the time. So as a principal, I do spend a lot of time with my students, one-on-one, talking to them, making sure that they also know I'm available, that they can just come in and talk to me. And I think those are very important things we can do. Making ourselves available to the students, that they are important. That it doesn't mean as a principal I can't talk to you. I have other things to do. I have other things to do.
I like what you say about being very child student centric.
So my students walk in and they will ask to come in. And,
so you have an open door policy.
Go to my staff and students.
Peter, thank you very much. One last question. Any last words for families with children deciding on educational pathway along the journey? Is education the most important, or is really valuing the child, loving the child, regardless of whether the child can go to the university, let the child find its place, because every child has a bright future.
I would say that to me is primary. Value the child first. I have a friend, very good friend of mine, whose child, he's my age. So that means his child went to school almost
same time,
20 plus years ago.
Okay.
So the child went to the monolingual program.
okay.
So that's how long ago. Okay, actually
Time.
he has I think if I'm not too wrong, he has spinal bifida, and so really couldn't manage very well, in Singapore,
Disabled.
right? But the parents made the decision that his life is important, and they made a decision to move, unfortunately to another country that has support. I've engaged with this young man now. He's confident. He works in a fast food restaurant.
Wow.
He drives himself to work. So I
Yeah, overcame his disability and handicaps, right?
and when I speak to him, if I don't know his background, I wouldn't know that he even had all the issues that he had. And I think that's what
Yeah.
education.
Yeah, don't
and
write off the
system
child, right?
do.
Believe the child.
He may not
Yeah,
hold
let them
a
reach their full
CEO
potential.
job,
Yeah,
okay,
but he's happy,
he's
independent. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the dignity to earn his own keep, right?
Precisely,
Yeah.
he drives, he has his own job, and he's happy in life. I think as a pet, I'm a grandfather. I want to see my grandchildren happy too.
Me too.
Right? It's not
Absolutely.
just chasing after all the
the 5 C's and all that. Yeah, meaningless. Huh?
Yeah. So I think let's value our children, love them, and give them the best environment to grow up in, rather than hot house and pressure. That's where all the challenges and issues start to come about.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, it's been wonderful. We appreciate all your time here.